Ambassador Sofer, I will come back to you on this one. Of course, Hezbollah, as they were a few months ago, we know they're much weaker. But is this a bit of a reminder for the Israeli government, the Israeli people and the Israeli army that there is still a large amount of support for Hezbollah within Lebanon?
Well, the large amount of support for Lebanon within the Lebanese, in Lebanon for the Hezbollah, within the Lebanese parts of the Lebanese Shia. I don't think there's large, outside of that, I don't think there's very much support for Hezbollah at all. That Hezbollah is decimated. But I think that the Iranian part that you were speaking about is very important. And I've said this before here as well, and I'll repeat it again. I make a distinction between the Iranian people and the Iranian government. It's very important. The Iranian people are erudite, they're very forward-looking, they're educated, and they have the possibility of moving forward, but they are occupied by a medieval, hate-ridden regime. Now, if we look around wherever the Iranian regime has its foothold, be it in Yemen, be it in Syria, be it in the Hezbollah, be it Hamas, be it in Iran itself, be it in the Western Sahara, there is only death, destruction, murder, and instability. That is what the Iranian regime has to contribute today to the stability of the Middle East. Now, they've lost their foothold in Lebanon. They've lost their foothold in Syria. Hamas is severely weakened and, well, as I said earlier, will completely, hopefully, dissipate into thin air and on the dust heap of history. And Iran really is the mastermind, or a mastermind, of all instability in the region. And I think they're doing much more damage to the Palestinians than is actually understandable. They are forcing the extremists on the Palestinian people. They are helping the Hamas, helping Hezbollah, which did nothing but fire hundreds of thousands of rockets into Israel one after 7th of October. And I think really here lies the rub. So we're talking of trying to move forward to a new Middle East, a Middle East in which the forces of good will fight against the forces of evil. It's no longer Arab Israel or even Israeli Palestinian. It is a if you will, a coalition of forward-looking peoples and governments to eradicate the region from the hate and the horror perpetrated by the Hezbollah Shiites, perpetrated by Iran, perpetrated by the Al-Qaeda forces and others inside of Syria. And I think that we have moved certain way towards this direction, and hopefully that we can build on it with others in the Middle East.
Yes, Dr. Mirza, thank you for sticking with us. I want to look at the action and the strikes that we saw as well. Is this a message from Israel, do you think, just saying, don't forget we're here, irrelevant of the celebrations and the memories that are being shared amongst the supporters of Hezbollah over their former leaders, both of them? Do you think this is just Israel saying the ceasefire is here and don't forget that, and don't think that there's any return to what you once were?
No, I think that when Netanyahu decided to enter Gaza, it was to finish off Hamas, totally eliminate Hamas. And I think that until and unless Hamas as an organization, as a terrorist outfit is completely wiped out, including Hezbollah as an institution of terror is completely wiped out, and the Iranian regime, as Mark has said, that it's a very erudite nation, but the regime, until that regime is smashed to pieces, you forget about peace in the Middle East. Because these are those who are creating conflict and creating havoc and creating terrorist acts in the Middle East. And all the Arab countries, one more thing I would just like to mention here is that I have realized over the decade that what are they afraid of? The Muslim Arab states, what are they afraid of from Israel? They are afraid of democracy. They are afraid of the way the Israeli society is run, with debate, with argument, with consensus which comes out of that. And they see that as a threat to their totalitarian dictatorships, whether it's in the form of a king or in the form of a military general. So I think that the aim is not that whether there's going to be peace or whether should be war. All tactics and methods should be at hand to achieve the final goal, which is the total destruction and dismantling of the Iranian government, the Hamas network, and Lebanese. And when I say that, people think, oh my God, are you not a Muslim? It is not about being a Muslim or a Christian or a Jew. It's about peace. And when we say peace, I do not support two-nation theory. I think it should be one country, a two-state theory. It should be Israel, greater Israel, and everybody should live in peace. That's it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza, and also thank you to Ambassador Mark Sofa.